Hello everyone and welcome to my presentation about immersion in history teaching. The presentation is divided into 8 parts. First, I will talk about the definition of immersion. Secondly, I will look at the two perspectives of immersion, followed by a thorough explanation of the included categories. Next comes the topic of immersion in education, where I will focus on immersive history teaching. And finally, the challenges faced with immersive technologies, the conclusions, and the references. Let's start by defining our core concept, which is no other than immersion. Immersion is an all-inclusive concept that is often used interchangeably with the phrases realism, naturalness, and presence. According to Baxter and Haney, immersion is the feeling of being almost transported to another place or immersed in a different world or environment. Let's now turn to the two perspectives of immersion. On the one hand, we have researchers that understand immersion as an individual psychological state when these are involved, absorbed, engaged, or engrossed. Whereas, on the other hand, there are researchers that perceive immersion as a property of a technology. When it comes to the 4 categories of immersion, these are the following. The systems immersion. This refers to a high level of engagement with the systems and decision-making processes in the game related to flow. The empathic or social immersion addresses the emotional connection of the user with the characters or social context of a game. The spatial immersion refers to the sense of presence in a location, the feeling of being in that place or of having traveled there. And finally, the narrative or sequential immersion, which is about a deep and compelling investment in the progression of events, locations, and/or abilities. The focus here is typically what happens next. Turning now our attention to the integration of immersion in education. Immersive environments captivate learners by placing them at the center of the learning experience. Human beings learn primarily through visual and auditory stimuli. Immersive technologies have the power to engage users' additional senses such as touch and even smell, heightening thus the overall learning experience. Immersive technologies clearly facilitate experiential learning, since students can step into historical events or explore the outer space, two things that are clearly impossible in real life. The potential of immersive technologies to enhance the inclusivity and accessibility of education is considerable. These technologies can accommodate a diverse range of learning speeds, styles, and abilities, thereby facilitating the participation of a broader spectrum of learners. Classic history works can be brought to life through immersive experiences, such as virtual trips to ancient cultural locations or simulations of imaginative worlds. In other words, immersive technologies can contribute towards a decreased cognitive overload. History is an expansive and intricate subject, encompassing centuries and multitude of subjects. By employing immersive technologies to facilitate the comprehension of historical knowledge, it becomes more accessible to the learner. Multiple perspectives. The interpretation of historical events may vary according to the perspective of the historian or reader, which presents a challenge in presenting a balanced and objective account of history. Immersive technologies have the potential to facilitate learners' direct engagement with the authentic environment, thereby providing a more authentic experience. Increased learner engagement. The study of history can be challenging, overwhelming, and abstract subject for students. It can be difficult to maintain their engagement in learning about historical events. Immersive education has been shown to increase interest by engaging students directly with the event as if it was occurring in front of their eyes. Despite the considerable appeal of immersive technologies to both students and teachers, the cost implications for many schools render this as an unaffordable option for the time being. One of the most pressing issues surrounding any new technology is data security. As most product offerings are still in their infancy, it is inevitable that bugs in the code will result in unforeseen complications. These apps are susceptible to a heightened degree of vulnerability. But fortunately, the companies are taking steps to restrict the amount of data that is collected. To conclude, immersion can contribute to increased learner motivation and therefore to an enhanced learning process. As students become active participants in their education, they develop critical thinking skills and a for knowledge that extends beyond the classroom. Immersion itself is multifaceted and can be experienced with the help of immersive technology equipment or not. These are the references that I used to create this presentation. Thank you very much for listening.